Hey guys, it's Monica at Academic Phoenix Plus, and welcome to the next video tutorial on how to create a gingerbread man, from modeling to UV mapping, texturing, and then rigging and some light animation. Today we're going to go over one of the best parts about 3D modeling, or 3D in general, is texturing. If you are new to this channel, I post tutorials on a weekly basis. Software includes Maya, ZBrush, and Substance Painter. So if that is your sort of thing, please consider subscribing. So bring out your creativity, open up that software, and let's go ahead and texture this little cute gingerbread man. Let's grab anything that's white. Assign a new material. Arnold AI standard surface. This is going to be my white frosting. Just crank this all the way to 1, and the roughness, I'm going to crank it up to about 0.3. I am going to be using some subsurface, but I'll turn that on in a second. This one is going to be green. Assign any material. Arnold AI standard surface. This is kind of like a dark green. So again, increase the roughness. And these are jolly red. So assign any material. Arnold AI standard surface. Ooh, let's see. This is my red frosting. Let's grab the red. And sometimes, I turned it orange. You can kind of grab this color here, but usually you have to go lighter. All right, let's render. Maybe increase the roughness. All right, the bread. Let's assign a new material. Arnold AI standard surface. This is the bread shader. And let's grab a color. Go a little lighter. Maybe a little darker. Let me hit the play button. And also increase the roughness. Very simple so far. Not sure if it looks delicious just yet. And let's make it even better. The first thing I'm going to take care of is the body. Let's break up the color a little bit. As you can see, there is some color variations, and right now our render is actually pretty flat. So let's add a little noise. So let's click on this little connection, and in Arnold we're looking for noise, and we're going to be using noise a lot in this particular tutorial because it's one of my favorite texture nodes. So let's go to AI noise, and what I'm going to do is increase my octaves. And let's see what that looks like so far. It helps break up the color, but let's change the color. So here is some color. Let's grab a little orange here, little brown, and then we're going to also grab the same color, but maybe slightly lighter. And let's see what that looks like. So it's a little subtle, and I'm going to kind of lighten the colors here. But that color variation is really important to make it look realistic. God, I should have taken a snapshot earlier, but let's go ahead and take a snapshot by clicking on this little camera down here at the bottom right, and that gives us a snapshot. I'm going to press stop, and let's add a little bit of bumpiness. So we are going down to the geometry attribute, and under bump mapping, we're going to click on this little connection. And again, I'm going to be using, since I have noise up here, I can actually use AI cell noise. So let's have a little fun and use AI cell noise. So over here we have an out color. Let's open up out color and choose the R. And then we're going to choose the bump value. So let's see if we can find it. There it is. And the preview is now not going to look so hot. And that's okay. Well, let's move on over here. Let's connection. And we can change our octaves just like we did with the other one. So you can see that we're getting some noise. Now I really want to increase my contrast. So I can do that by increasing the lacunarity, I don't know. And that kind of helps increase the contrast, but I really want to go to the next level. I'm going to go to my hypershade here. And I'm actually going to close this because I don't need to see this, and I'm going to close that as well. And I actually want to have my render window available. So as you can see, I'm running out of space. Let's see, I'm going to close this because I can grab them anytime. And I'm also going to close this because I can hit my tabs really easily. And I'm going to dock it. I'm going to dock it to the right. And I'm also going to close my outliner. Whoop, and then I'm going to bring this to, you can put it in the bottom or the top, it's totally up to you. It doesn't really matter. So I'm just docking it. There we go. So that's going to give me a little bit of information, because the reality is I don't need the model that much anymore. What I really need is all this information. Click on this little guy right here, and that's going to show me my AI cell, my bump 2D node, and it's connected to the normal camera. Cool. Let's click on this, hit play, and this is going to show me the AI cell noise, and this is the AI noise that we used earlier for the color. So this is kind of nice because it's literally just showing me what is the shader doing. So I have AI cell noise connected, and what I'm trying to do is increase the contrast between these guys. Right, so you can see that I'm getting a little bit of that. We could try doing the amplitude, right? But that kind of just brings it all together and things like that. So I want a little bit more noise. So let's increase the scale by 333. So that's going to give me some really interesting look. So let's take a look at the bread shader, and you can see that it's looking more like stone than it is anything else because I need higher contrast. So let's go back to the shader. I'm going to press stop because I need something that is going to increase my contrast even higher, and that's going to be the AI range. So let's select, oh, by the way, just hit tab and that gives you that, and you can just type in range and you're going to see AI range right there. So let's go ahead and connect the color to the input, open up the little plus sign, and then connect it to the bump value, and there you have it. So the AI range gives you contrast. So let me see if I can, there it is. There's the AI range. And what I can do is actually start playing with these values to try to bring the contrast a little higher. You have to kind of play with it a little bit. Now there is a contrast, so we can try doing the contrast. There it is. But I really want that white to remain white. Please ignore my cat in the background. He suddenly wants attention. All right, let me crunch these values. So the more these values have in contrast, the difference will be. Now my bump node is really strong. So let me go back into the geometry node, the bump mapping, click on this little connection, or you can just click on the bump here and just reduce it by maybe 0.3. Let's go back to the AI range, and then I'm going to reduce my contrast, increase. I just really want a little bit. Wrong way. So I'm just kind of playing with the values, just trying to get a little bit of that noise information. All right, let me go back into my bumped 2D node and change this to 0.1. 0.05. And this is what we have so far. So way better than what it was. All right, cool. Let's turn this off and see what the whole thing looks like. So it definitely looks a lot more realistic than what it was, which was very flat. And now with this bump, you can make it feels like it's actually has texture to it. All right, I wanted to add a little bit of noise information to the little buttons. So let me select the buttons, and I'm going to click on this little guy right here, which gives me the buttons. And just like what we did before, I'm going to go to color, click on this little connection. I'm going to go to Arnold, choose AI noise. And very similar, I am going to increase my octaves. And again, I like to see what I'm doing. So let's go ahead and get a little, well, we can kind of see it there. And I want one area to be white, and the other one, I want it to be that deep saturated red. And I'm going to increase my scale. And I'm actually going to flip the colors. Let's make this white, and this is going to be red. And there you go. It's got nice little spots there. I'm going to bring up another AI range. Again, let's go ahead and select these guys, and then we can play around with this as well, because I really want is the red to really stand out, and that actually did it. So AI range is very, very helpful. So I'm going to do the same thing with the green and the white. So let's see if we can do this relatively quickly. Let's click on this little connection. Let's grab, we can try AI cell just because it's fun to try different things. Let's try a 6. Octave 6, and we can always change this to that red. There are different types of noise that you guys can play with. We have noise 2, we have cell, We have Cell 2. We have Whirly. You have Whirly 2. And you have Alligator. So there's a variety of colors that you can choose from, or patterns that you can choose from, and it's pretty fun. I might just stick with Whirly, and let me change this actually to that green. There we go. That looks a little, and I'm gonna lighten it up a little bit so it looks a little friendlier. There we go. Fun little tie there. All right, now we're gonna do the same thing, but with the white. Let's grab the white. We're gonna grab the color. Let's go ahead and grab again, I'm gonna choose AI noise. Increase the octaves. The color is going to be more white, but I need to kind of diversify the color a little bit. So I might choose a little bit. Is blue weird? Maybe green. Blue. Let's do a little blue. See what that looks like. Just a little color variation there. What looks more delicious? Blue or red? I guess red. All right, let me grab this guy and click on this so I can see what's going on. Here's my AI noise. Let's hit the AI range. If you want the high contrast, color to input, output, color, there we go. Again, let's click on this so we can see what we're doing. And we can increase the contrast. We can reduce the contrast. We can kind of bring those colors closer together, things like that. All right, I do want to add a little subsurface color texturing just because I think it would make a big difference. Let me increase, actually, let me keep that one relatively low. And let's go ahead and update the full scene just to make sure we have it. The white's looking really white. Let me see if I can reduce it a little bit. Still want to make sure it looks real. All right, cool. So next is going to be the subsurface. So subsurface means that the light's going to go in, bounce around, and come out. That's going to really help make this look significantly more real. So this is what it looks like right now. Let me go ahead and render it. All right, there you go. Only took 15 seconds. I'm going to take a snapshot of it. And basically we want to go down to subsurface and just increase the subsurface. Now, because this is white, this is going to work really well for my objects. I'm going to grab the green tie here and also go to the subsurface and increase it, but I don't want, you can see that it starts to make my tie look a little white. So let's go ahead and give it that green, but it's going to be a light green. So let's go ahead and add a little bit of that light green into the subsurface. Now, there's a lot of values I can change, but this is going to help make my cookie look a little bit, he is kind of small, so maybe I should reduce the radius. And make this a little darker. There we go. And then same thing with this one. I can reduce the radius a little bit. But I definitely want to keep that white. Same thing with the button. I'm going to increase my subsurface here. And then I'm going to change this to like a red, but kind of like a lighter red. Oops, that was the radius. It's going to go back to white. Let me go back here and choose this kind of pink color. Again, I'm going to reduce the scale. Go back to this one. It feels really strong. And then the cookie, I am going to give a little bit of subsurface, but not that much. So let's go back to that brown. And of course, let's reduce the scale and reduce the radius. And let's let it render. All right, let me pop this out. And there we go. We got a little bit of that subsurface scattering. This is what we started off with. We had a little bit of this, and then we ended up with this, which makes it look soft and hopefully delicious. And that is how you can procedurally shade a gingerbread man. Let me focus on this and do another render. I'm going to grab my light and change my camera to my visibility camera to 0 so that I can get a nice render. There we go. Cool. I'm going to go ahead and let that render. But thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you learned a thing or two for procedural shading in Maya. Maya has a lot of nodes, and I highly encourage you guys to explore it. I do have a playlist on Arnold nodes. It is from Maya 2018, but the theories are still the same. Like, they still use the exact same nodes and things like that. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy this content and that you want to see more. And of course, please leave a comment and let me know what you think. Take a look at academicphoenixplus.com. There you can find free ebooks, resources such as 3D models, and as well as you can find e-courses. So if you would like to help support me so that I can create more content, please consider purchasing an e-course. Again, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Next time we are going to rig this cute little guy and then do a little animation. So I will see you next time when we start giving this guy life.